I'm Robert Cardoza, and you're watching On the Street, the intersection of business and politics, where I take all of the data that's going on around you, I throw it into a funnel, see what comes out, know that somewhere in the middle is the truth, and I analyze that and put it out there, and I give it to you. And you know what? You can be watching Fox News and MSNBC, and you can be watching CBS, and you can be watching all these shows. You can read the Wall Street Journal, the Huffington Post, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the LA Times, or you can watch On the Street and get the real truth right here. It's just an assimilation of what is really there and getting the bad stuff vetted out. Now, my guest right now is Daniel Hecht. Daniel Hecht is the CEO and president of Masters Hall of Fame. They have an annual event that focuses a spotlight on successful martial artists. And Dan, one of the things that we were talking about off the air is that the Masters Hall of Fame is a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Yes, it is. We changed that in 2006.
And so, does there any money that goes to charity from this?
Most definitely. We have a couple good programs that we donate to, and one of the things that I like to recognize is martial artists that are doing more than kicking and punching. They're involved in their community. And Bob White, Professor Bob White out of Orange County, is one of those people. He has a charity that he works with. It's the Royal Family Kids Camp. And they've raised nearly $500,000 for this organization.
Wow, how great is that?
It's huge.
How
it's
great
really
is
huge.
that? You know, one of the things about the Masters Hall of Fame, I was there last year. We did our show live there, and we're going to be there again this year, and it's going to be June the 22nd, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And boy, what a wonderful event. And gee, I think last year, I don't want to embellish this too much, but it looked like you had a lot of people there.
A little over 500.
500 people.
Black tie, yeah.
It was exciting. We were broadcasting. My producer, David Kamatoy, was broadcasting on a different side. We had all of these martial artists from all over the world talking about their dojos, talking about how they were brought up and how they got involved in martial arts. You know, one of the things I'd like to talk about today is how people can support the Masters Hall of Fame this year.
Well, one of the misconceptions, you have to be a martial artist to attend the Masters Hall of Fame. There's a lot of people out there that just want to come and visit with some of the martial arts superstars like Don the Dragon Wilson, Art Camacho, Frank Triggs was at our event. Many martial arts superstars come to our event because this is where we recognize excellence.
And people in movie and in the television industry that they'll recognize there.
Yes, most
definitely. And it's just a wonderful event. One of the things that we haven't touched on is that you actually have demonstrations and classes. And I mean, I got over there and I felt like a fish out of water because I don't know an awful lot about that kind of self-defense, and a little intimidated by the guy that no matter what I did could probably crush me. That's not that they would.
Right.
But boy, it's a little intimidating when you're in front of all of that talent sitting out there, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to attend just to see the shows and listen to some of the lectures and things that were going on and go to some of the lessons, what does it cost?
For the banquet, it's $150, and that covers everything. That's everything that's involved. If you want to attend a seminar, that's inclusive into that fee. If you just want to go to the banquet and enjoy the entertainment and the camaraderie with other martial artists, it's the same price.
And besides entertainment, you have speakers there.
We definitely have speakers.
You know,
this year's speaker is Black Widow, Lisa, the Black Widow King. She is gorgeous.
Well, you know what? I just love the names of these martial artists. It's sort of like, you know, I do river rafting, right? And you have these different segments of the river, and one of them was called Widowmaker. And you've got to say to yourself, even before you get there, I don't think I like this. You know, so basically then those people can go there, can do that. But all of these martial artists right now, most of them own their dojos. Yeah. They actually have their schools and they're teaching all ages. How is the economy affecting martial artists in this recessionary area, in this recovery time?
That's a very good question. The martial artist system is a school, and you know, it's a business. And you know, there's a conflict with the martial arts. A lot of martial artists want to teach for free, but you still have to pay the bills. And the same thing with the Masters Hall of Fame. I have hard costs that I got to cover, no matter if one person shows up or 500 people show up. So it's run, even though we're a nonprofit, it's still run with a business feel, because we definitely have to to pay attention to the bottom line.
Well, you can't go out of pocket. You're
right.
You are a 501c3. You're trying to raise money for charity. You're not trying to have it cost from the general fund that would normally go to charity because somebody didn't show up, and that happens from time to time.
Yes, it
Somebody
does.
will book a number of guests or buy a table and not show up, but the guests do, and you're out of pocket.
Well, it won't happen again, but it did happen in the past.
You know, let's go back to though the dojos.
Yeah.
These people. Are you seeing where it's harder and harder for the dojos to be successful in this economy, or are they starting to bounce back a little bit?
Well, it needs to be run like a business. So there has to be a recruitment side where, you know, people come to karate, they think they want to be involved. Just because they sign up for 3 months doesn't mean they're going to be there for 3 months later. So there has to have that ongoing recruitment side. Most of the martial artists are really good at the instruction side. What they have to try to be better at is the business side, understanding that there's marketing involved and there's hard costs involved in teaching.
Sure.
So
they've got to pay rent, they got to pay utilities, they've got to pay insurances, they've got to pay for the retail goods that they're going to try and sell. They've got a lot of things going on there. Give us your website real quick so people can actually go there. And I know you've got 2 of them, so why don't you give both those websites?
Okay, it's mastershalloffame.org is where you can go to get all the information you want on the Masters Hall of Fame, how to be involved. Tickets are available off the website. And my personal website is danielheck.com.
And so that information probably kind of moves between the 2 websites. They can find out everything there, and one would actually transition to the other?
Yes, the danielheck.com, I'm involved in more than just the Masters Hall of Fame. It has other interests I'm involved in.
So let's talk about that for the remainder of the show, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Let's talk about, you and I met at NBC Superstation, KCAA Radio, 1050 on your AM dial.
Yes, we did.
Great place. And you were doing your, is it Kicking It Old School?
Kicking It Old School.
And it was a terrific show. I mean, you had guests that were just phenomenal. You went on a sabbatical. You're back on the show. Started last Tuesday. You're going to be on every Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Yes, we are.
What's the basis of, real quick in about 30 seconds, what's the basis of that show?
Well, we're recognizing excellence in the martial arts. We want to give some of our inductees that are being inducted this year the opportunity to get a public spotlight and to get the media attention they so deserve. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're interviewing martial artists from the past, some of our alumni, and some of the new inductees for this year.
Well, that's great. You know, Dan, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure to see you. I love talking to you all the time. So, we'll have you back after the Marshall's Hall of Fame. I want to remind everybody that you're watching On the Street. This is the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? We're going to tell you everything exactly the way it is and how it affects your business and your personal life. We're trying to do that. Coming up next is going to be the good news and the bad news. We're going to talk about the economy. You don't want to miss it. I want to remind you one more time, you're watching On the Street, the intersection of business and politics. Me? I'm Robert Cardoza.